In this video, I'll be making a 3D printed wall logo. As a big fan of SpaceX and someone who has an abundance of blank wall space, this simple project filled some of it. With just 30 minutes to spare and access to a 3D printer, you can make this yourself. I wasn't originally going to make a video on this topic as I've glossed over this before, but since I received a few comments asking how this was made, I figured that the time was right to make a dedicated video. The first step is to find a design that you like. I recommend choosing a design with as few details as possible. Look for a clear photo of your design and download it. Assuming you have a photo, upload your picture to picsvg.com, and depending on the brightness of your picture, you can use the preset filters at your own discretion. For example, my picture was too bright, so I used a darker filter to fill in the spaces in between the letters. The higher the filter, the less clarity it has between colors. Once done, choose the color black, then press download and save. What you just did was you converted a picture file into a scalable vectors graphics file, so the next piece of software can read it and modify it. With the new file from the website, bring it into some sort of CAD software. I personally recommend and use Fusion 360, but if you don't plan on using it in the future, a piece of software called Tinkercad will work just fine. Fusion 360 is an excellent piece of software for engineers, designers, and makers, but has a really big download size, so if you're not going to be using it in the future, there's no point in you downloading it. In Fusion 360, you head over to the Insert tab, then select Insert SVG. Find the file, then select the bottom axis. Next, scale the file to a size that looks correct. It doesn't matter how big you scale it right now, as we'll scale it later on in the video to the right size you actually want it at. This is just to prevent a file that's too small to work with. Next, you'll extrude the sketch. You do this by selecting each individual letter, then pressing E on your keyboard and extruding it upwards. I like to use a 3mm extrude as it feels that works best for me. Finally, to Tools, 3D Print, then export it into your slicer. In Prusa Slicer, which is the slicer I use, I upscaled my file to the size I actually want it to be printed at. The default setting is to scale it uniformly, as in the X, Y, and Z all scale in the same proportion, so you have to unselect the lock and adjust the Z axis back to 3 to 4.5mm, and now you're ready to print. In North America, most houses have drywall, and if you've ever tried to remove something you've taped onto drywall, you would know that it takes a chunk of the paint along with it. So I found that by using picture hanging strips or canvas strips, that problem is mitigated. I bought a variety pack, so I used the different sizes at my own discretion. The larger strips can hold up to half a kilogram in mass, so unless you're printing a basketball to tape onto your wall, they will most likely hold. And that's basically it. Thanks for watching another video of mine. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe, and it allows me to reach a greater audience. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on my next video.